this thing on? I don't care. I wanted to hear.
This is the pregame show. Your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Curry gets Horford. Shot clock at 7. 49 seconds left. Pass to Buddy Hield. White corner 3. Swish! 1:11-104. Time out. Boston.
Tim Roy on the call last night right here on 95.7 The Game. Warriors 118. Boston Celtics 112. And are you starting to believe now, Dub Nation? Are you starting to believe now, Golden State Warriors fans? 888-957-9570. That is the number. Call me or text me on the Comcast Biz text line, 888-957-9570. Because today, it's all about you and how you feel about this team right now. 7-1, just took out the defending champs in Beantown. Again, 118-112 to final. Stephen Curry, 8 of 17, 27 points. He was clutch after clutch after clutch. We're not talking about clutch sports. We're just talking about clutch baskets. But even more impressive than the scoring from Stephen Curry last night, the ball distribution. 9 assists last night for Stephen Curry. That is what impressed me more than his shooting. And it takes a lot to impress me more than the greatest shooter in the history of the sport. But his ball distribution yesterday, just actively hunting that Boston defense and finding the mismatch and exploiting it. That is what the Warriors have done all season. But yeah, they've done it against the Blazers, the Jazz, whatever. It's one thing to do it against those teams. It's another to do it against the best of the best of the best. And yes, we can acknowledge they were not whole yesterday, the Boston Celtics. They did not have Jaylen Brown. They did not have Kristaps Porzingis, 2 key pieces for them in a championship run, particularly Jaylen Brown, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP and the NBA Finals MVP. He was the best player in the playoffs last year. So that makes a difference. But you know what? Warriors didn't have Brandon Podziemski. They didn't have D'Anthony Melton. Not to say that those players are equal to that of a Jaylen Brown, but Podziemski's been a focal point for this team all season long. He missed the game due to an illness, wasn't feeling very good. Hopefully he's back tomorrow in Cleveland as the Warriors will look to go 6-0 on the road trip. But right now, they are 5-0 on the road. And it's been impressive. It has been just the one word to describe this season is what right now for the Golden State Warriors. 888-957-9570. I've just been impressed. And the more this team keeps winning and believing, and the ball distribution and the depth keeps getting tested, and you get guys like Buddy Hield to step up like he's done all season long off the bench, a team high plus 20 off the bench last night, 4 of 7 from beyond the arc, 16 points for Buddy Buckets. Jonathan Kuminga off the bench last night, 10 points. Was his most efficient game, but 4 of 10 from the floor. Got 4 boards. Moses Moody getting inserted into the starting lineup. Thought Moody played well. 9 points, 6 boards for him. Everyone buying into their role. Trace Jackson Davis, hey, not mad at it. You got Kyle Anderson slow-mo. Back-to-back-to-back threes. Okay. Slow-mo. Not mad at that. 11 points, 5 boards, and 4 assists for him. So, Warriors get a massive win last night. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. You got me for the next hour right here on 95.7 The Game before I hand it off to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. And Shasky's going to be insufferable, I am sure, because he was thumping his chest yesterday that the Warriors were going to win this game. And you know what? Kudos to him. They did. And it was an impressive win. Was it a statement win? What does this win last night represent to you, Dub Nation? That's what I want to know. 888-957-9570. Because, yeah, they're 8 games into the season. This isn't a play-in team. What I see from the Golden State Warriors right now, this is a playoff team. This is a top 6 seeded team. And yeah, right now they're playing like the best team in the Western Conference. That's what they look like right now. Now, one game here or there, when you have that much depth and you have that much, manpower that you're relying on, how does that work in a given series? I'm not there yet. I just know what I see right now, and this is a playoff team. And you could say, oh, yeah, they're a playoff team. Well, that's I'm not scoffing at that. Yeah, they're a playoff team. This is a team that couldn't even get to the playoffs last year. Got to the play-in game, and one of the most beloved figures in the history of your franchise went 0-for, and that was his last game ever in a Golden State Warriors uniform. That being Klay Thompson, who you're going to see back at home next week as Dallas comes to town. And by the way, Jason Kidd, head coach of the Dallas, I almost said Cowboys. Maybe that wouldn't hurt. Dallas Mavericks, 9 o'clock, Monday morning roast. Not going to miss that. Jason Kidd, the Hall of Famer, Cal Zone. Not a Cal Zone, but Cal Berkeley Zone. Although, I can go for a Cal Zone right now. They have breakfast Cal Zones. Is that a thing? I'm not mad at it. Sam, you mad at that?
Probably.
Yeah, you want
they have breakfast pizza, so.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I mean, it's really just like a Hot Pocket, so they have Hot Pocket, like breakfast ones, so I'm not mad at that. Scrambled eggs, a little sausage in there. Give me some chorizo. That sounds good. Get a little cross-cultural pollination sensation. Shout out Tim Roy. Tim Roy, hell of a call last night. Everyone, really. You had Fitz in his bag. You had Tim Roy in his bag. You had Mike Breen in his bag. Who was that? It was Jay Billis and Doris Burke on the call. Now, I love Jay. He's usually a college guy, but I find his insight into the game. He's been around for a very long time. He knows all these players. He's good. But it's a little like Kirk Herbstreit with Al Michaels. You associate them in college more. And I don't know. It's just not there for me yet. Now, Mike Breen is the consummate professional. He's going to make any call outstanding. And I saw on the timeline, a lot of people were upset with Doris Burke. They thought she was kind of anti-Warriors. I didn't hear that personally, but, fans get emotional about that sort of stuff. I get it. It's okay. The Warriors won. And they won in Boston when Boston was raining down the boos. The Boo Birds were out yesterday in Boston, but Steve Kerr enjoys that. He plays up to it. Listen, and he had his little pregame talk with the media. He spoke about the election. He spoke about, making America great again and beating the Celtics. And hey, he did that, the latter part, I should say. But here's the head coach breaking the game down as the Warriors improved to 7-1 on the season.
Third quarter, obviously, they got going. The offensive rebounds just killed us. I think that's how they started knocking down threes. It felt like, anyway, they had the one possession where they got about 4 shots. And then, they did what they do, which is spread you out and, play kind of through their pick and roll stuff and then try to draw 2 and get people free. They also hit some really tough shots, so give them a lot of credit, but our guys deserve some too for coming back after falling behind.
It was a back and forth game. It was really just a fun game overall. You got Derek White just en fuego to start the game. They jump out to an 11-point lead early, and then the Golden State Warriors punch back. They get a double-digit lead heading into halftime, then a 41-31 Boston Celtics third quarter, outscoring the Dubs 10 points in there. Even things up. They take the lead in the fourth. Looks like, all right, well, there's the champs. We're just not quite there yet. It's okay. They're really good. Jason Tatum played very well. 10 of 20 overall, 5 of 10 from beyond the arc, 32 points. But outside of scoring, he really wasn't doing much. And we kind of talked about that yesterday. Let Jason Tatum get his. Force other people to try to beat you. Now, Derek White had a game. Peyton Pritchard was not an efficient game. He had 16 points off the bench, but it was a 3 of 11 beyond the arc kind of a game. Drew Holiday, 3 of 11. Al Horford, 4 of 9. 2 of 6 from beyond the arc, though. So, you did your job. Everyone else stepped up on the Golden State Warriors. More of your guys stepped up than the opposition. And that's the difference sometimes. Even in a shorthanded Boston Celtics lineup. That's okay if Jason Tatum's going to get his shots. He's one of the best players on the freaking planet. Unless he's wearing Team USA's jersey. Then he's going to get benched. Because you know what? You're not as good as Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Stephen Curry. Sorry, Jason. Sorry, Boston fans. How's that taste? You hate to see it. Speaking of Tatum, he talked about that Olympic drama last night after the game. If any of that was on his mind.
It wasn't on my mind.
just another Wednesday, another game, another opportunity to come in and try to be the best player I can be, and another day to just try to get a win.
510, I want to make a call. Why don't you make a call? 888-957-9570. What are you doing? Call in right now. It's 5:10 a.m. What do you think I'm doing? On the beach right now? Soaking up that cold water? No. I'm in the studio right now talking to you lovely people, and I want to hear your voice, 510. Sure, it's lovely. 925. That win is good enough to throw in Screamin' A. Smith's face. Was Stephen A. Smith, was he poo-pooing the Warriors season thus far? Well, after that win, I think the Warriors are officially on the top of everyone's minds right now in the NBA. And if they're not, they should be. That was impressive. I don't care if there's no Jaylen Brown. I don't care if there's no Kristaps Porzingis. Stephen Curry in Boston put on another show. Where have we seen that before? Oh, yeah, a couple years ago when they won the title. That's right. And what was the crowning achievement of Stephen Curry's career thus far? Although, does he have another crowning achievement to be made? Maybe this season. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Again, I'm taking it game by game, which is all you can do. But right now, this is a playoff team. I'm not talking playing anymore with this Golden State Warriors team. They've jumped over that. Now, could they go on a little bit of a skid and stuff like that? Sure, but the level and quality of play and the buy-in from the players I've seen and from the veteran leadership from this team that I've seen thus far, I'm confident in saying this team is going to finish definitely within the top 6. Hell, maybe within the top 4 or 3. And heading into the season, I was skeptical. I was very skeptical. Given the moves they made, given where the front office wanted to be at. I think they wanted Lauri Markkanen. I think they wanted Paul George. I think they wanted to make a big splash. It just wasn't happening. And so I feel like they were like, all right, we settled. And yeah, let's see how things shake out. There was some skepticism, hell, even into yesterday's game. Anthony Slater, our 95.7 The Game Insider via The Athletic, he joined Bonte and Chasky yesterday on the Morning Roast, courtesy of the River Islands guest line. And, he was saying, there's even some intrigue within the Golden State Warriors front office to see how legit this team is. And going up against Boston's a huge test. And they passed it. They got punched in the mouth early, punched back, got punched again, and didn't waver. And that's the thing about this team. It's not like a young Oklahoma City. It's not like, give me a Memphis Grizzlies. No, this team has been to the mountaintop and won. Andrew Wiggins has been there. Kevon Looney has been there. Draymond Green has been there. Steph, obviously. Hell, Moody, Kuminga, yeah, they were on the bench. They were there, though. So having guys like that, no matter what, they're not going to blink at the biggest stage. Gary Payton, how can I not mention him? He had some big shots. Some really good defensive plays yesterday. Buddy Hield has been around a while. Has he played in these big-time games? Not really. Kyle Anderson, he was on a huge stage last year with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So you couple all of that in, this isn't some young upstart team. This is a team that has been there, done that, and expects to win at the highest level. Now, they've had some down years. They've had some dark clouds hanging over the organization. Most of that brought upon themselves. But no more Klay Thompson. You didn't know what was going to be in store with Buddy Hield. What Buddy Hield were we getting? Were we getting the guy that's bounced around a bajillion different teams? And yeah, he makes a lot of threes, but what else is he going to do? Well, he's been active on defense. He's been making his threes. What else do you need him to do right now? Here's Steve Kerr talking about the win yesterday, even though they did not have Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Boston was, without Jaylen Brown and Porzingis, so this is not their best version of their team, but they're still damn good. So it's a hell of a win in a tough environment, and we had some guys out too. And again, I love our depth. I think we're built to withstand absences. We get a lot of guys who can come in and play big minutes for us and help us win games like these. So obviously a good win for us.
Huge win, 888-957-9570. How big of a win was that for you, Dub Nation? Was that a statement victory? And what does that win signify to you, Dub Nation? 888-957-9570. To me, I hate to go the word lock because, it's so scary. 8 games into a season when it's a marathon, not a sprint. But I'm damn near about to lock it up. This is a playoff team. I'm just going to do it. You know what? Why not? It's a playoff team. They're not a play-in team. I'm looking at a playoff team right now. Now, I'd have the right to, unlock that if there's a major injury, but knock on wood that there's not going to be one. From the Comcast Business text line, 415, winning while learning how to play with new teammates. Yeah, that's the mark of a great head coach. And we just heard him speak. Can we give Steve Kerr his flowers, please? I've been talking about it throughout this season, but more so after a win like that, we like to give credit to the players. Let's give credit to Mike Dunleavy for the moves he made this offseason, to Steve Kerr and this coaching staff for, solving this Rubik's Cube puzzle early on in this season. Now it's going to be ever shifting. There's going to be, some squares that don't fully align. It's going to be a Tetris, if you will. Kind of like me after a long trip to Costco trying to figure out how to put stuff into my refrigerator. Maybe I was a little too overzealous with stuff I didn't need. Maybe I bought too much Honey Nut Cheerios, but you can never have too much Honey Nut Cheerios. Come on, please. Especially if you have kids. Give credit when it's due to one Steve Kerr. And especially Warriors fans, after he got booed last night and they were out for blood in Boston because of the whole, oh, you didn't start Jason Tatum. You didn't play him in the Olympics. Shut up. Just shut up. God, just the most insufferable fan base. Cedric Maxwell, a legend in Boston, a champion in Boston, joined Evan and Guru yesterday. And even he had to say this about Steve Kerr and the job he did with the Olympics.
Well, here's the thing, and I talked to Jason Tatum about this and asked him, I said, people want to say you're upset, you didn't play, but Steve Kerr's job, and I might be one of the few people in here, his job was to win Olympic gold medals, not to make friends, and he did his job. He won a gold medal. Now, Jason Tatum wasn't playing well, and I don't think he deserved all that time that, people wanted him to have.
That's Cedric Maxwell. He's a radio analyst for the team. He works with the team. He's very tight with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, everyone there in Boston. He even said Steve Kerr did his job. Sorry, no hard feelings. We're trying to bring home the gold, baby. We're not trying to take any L's to Serbia or Spain or France. I didn't think we played Spain, but you get what I'm saying. That wasn't happening. Just move on from that crap. We'll have one last thing from Jason Tatum. He gives the Celtics, check that, the Warriors, their flowers, and he thought they were the more physical team.
Yeah, I think they just did a good job of being more physical, and obviously they were, blitzing all of the ball screens. I came off, and we weren't, or I could speak for myself, a little rushed in the first half, and I think in the second half just accepted it and played with more patience and made the right read more often than not.
408 from the Comcast Business text line. Good morning, Joey Spadoni. Hey, Arnold reference, LOL. Hey, move it, football head. Can someone explain why Draymond kept dabbing Pritchard at the free throw line in the last minute of the game? I have no idea. I got to ask Draymond Green about that. I'm not sure. Maybe he's tight with Pritchard. I don't know. But it's definitely something. 925. I brought up Stephen A. Smith the day before on First Take. He was talking about how Jason Tatum and Boston was going to destroy the Warriors because of the horrible job Steve Kerr did in the Olympics of not starting him. He's serious? Did he? Well, Jason Tatum got his but the Warriors got theirs. That was the difference last night. Jason Tatum got his, and the Warriors got theirs. They over me. Us over me. Curry, Moody, Wiggins, TJD, Draymond Green, Kuminga, Anderson, Hield, Payton, buy-in from everyone on that team yesterday. And it was a total team win. And that has been what's refreshing to see about the Warriors this season is the team aspect. They are a bought-in unit right now. They are a collective. The ball movement, the defensive prowess of this team right now is what's really impressing me. Their ability to switch, their ability to be aggressive on both ends of the floor. And again, we talk about Steph Curry's shooting ad nauseum, and he's the greatest shooter of all time. And I think we get, complacent with that sometimes because he's just so damn good, and we've seen it for so damn long. But it was the ball distribution from him yesterday with the 9 assists that really stood out to me. It was impressive. Again, here's Steve Kerr talking about, playing a deep lineup and that keeping them fresh down the line.
In theory, we should be able to, if we're playing a bunch of guys 15 to 22 minutes, they should be able to go all out during those minutes. And I think we're getting that. Tonight was probably the first game we had 3 guys over 30 minutes. So the game kind of settled into a more traditional NBA game down the stretch. We had Wiggs, Draymond, and Steph out there all playing big minutes. But I thought Gary and Buddy just kind of tag teaming offense, defense. And then Loon, he's made so many big plays for us over the years. I thought his minutes were just massive down the stretch.
Kevon Looney, give him his flowers too. This is a guy that's kind of been swept under the rug a little bit. And listen, this happens. Players get older, and it's funny because you look at Kevon Looney and say, God, he's been around a long time. He's only 28. He's like, when we look at Steven Adams, right, with those Thunder teams, and he's been around for so damn long. I think Steven Adams is like 30, but you feel like he's 35. Kind of with Looney, we've been seeing him for so long, and he's got a lot of wear and tear. He's had a lot of major injuries. He's had the neuropathy. He came out of UCLA. The hip injury? He's had a lot of wear and tear on that body, but he lost weight. He's trim. He's cut. He's lean, and he looks good. He looks in shape. And yesterday, off the bench, he had some key boards for this team. He led the team in rebounds yesterday with 10. But again, the buy-in from a guy like that, not getting upset when the young bull takes over and Trace Jackson Davis. Not getting upset when you're going to get maybe some DNPs or only a couple minutes here and there. That is when a coach has complete buy-in from not only his veterans, but the players below them as well. And when you get buy-ins from the vets, everyone falls in line. It's a trickle-down effect, whether that's in the military, whether that's in, your day-to-day operations at your job. It's, it goes by rank, and it trickles all the way down to the Lindy Waters and the Guy Santoses of the world. When you got guys buying into their roles like Kevon Looney, who's been a multi-time champion, who has played at the biggest stages, who's played in massive games, who's had double-doubles, and has went up against the likes of a Domantas Sabonis and outplayed him multiple times in a playoff series. Getting buy-in like that from him, I don't scoff at. I don't. I think we take, Kevon Looney and players like him for granted sometimes too, with their attitude and their willingness to do whatever it takes to win. That's not always the case with certain players. There's a lot of me agendas in sports today, whether it's in basketball, whether it's in football, whether it's in baseball. Me. And that's just kind of the society we're at today. And not that there's anything wrong with that at times. I do like a player to be cocky. I love Anthony Edwards. I love what he does. I love what he represents. He's a fun player to root for. But give me a guy like Kevon Looney on my team every single day of the week, twice on Sunday. Buddy Hield, another guy that's bought into this role. Here he is after the game, talking about showing love for the team.
We just stick together, play unselfish, trust Steph Curry, Draymond being defensive anchor, Gary coming in, subbing in and out, making stops, making stuff. Wiggs coming up big. Kyle coming up big. Moses finishing the second quarter for us and coming strong. This is a collective big group. Lenny coming to the bench, playing good minutes, and just Looney being Looney, just everybody together, and that's Steve putting us in the right spots, so us to be effective.
A lot of love for this team right now. I think I'm feeling a lot of love from the Comcast Biz text line about this team. 888-957-9570-408. Looney's only 28. It's the oldest 28-year-old that I know. LOL. God, yeah. It gets slept on sometimes because he was right out of, one and done out of UCLA, joined the Warriors. And it's been 9 years now? That's pretty wild. 888-957-9570. Has it been 9 years? Come on, Looney. I know he went to UCLA. He is a Bruin. Yeah. 2015, was that his last year there? Yeah. 9 years. Look at me. Damn. It's pretty wild. Shout out Kevon Looney last night. Shout out everyone on the Warriors last night. Again, it was a total team win. And those are the kind of wins that you look back on at the end of a season and say, wow, we did that. That was a statement. That signified to the rest of the league, hey, we're for real. Is that what it's telling you, Dub Nation? 888-957-9570. Is this team for real? I think they're a playoff lock. This is not a play-in team anymore. This is a playoff lock. Are you even looking higher than that? Are you looking at this as a championship contender? I'm not getting there yet. Again, no Jaylen Brown, no Kristaps Porzingis changes things, but I'm not here to poo-poo on that win at all. That was a statement game and a statement win. 888-957-9570. Let's pick up this conversation on the other side. One segment down, two more to go as the pregame show, Joe Spadoni, rolls on 95.7 The Game.
Lovebirds, you're in for a treat. With your holiday proposal just around the corner, Shane Company is here to help you create your dream engagement ring. This is your moment. Let's make it magical. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've helped tons of couples find a beautiful engagement ring for a price that works with their budget. We've always sourced diamonds directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you.
I feel like our defense was pretty good down the stretch. Even when we got down and when they kind of took the lead, we was able to respond and bounce back on the road. It's not easy to do. It's not easy place to play in. But I feel like we was real resilient. And I feel like we've been showing growth. I feel like we played better than we did earlier in Houston.
Resilient. That's what Kevon Looney thinks this Golden State Warriors team is right now. That's the word he'd use to describe them. And that win last night, 118-112 over the Boston Celtics in Beantown. They were booing Steve Kerr. Oh, you didn't play Jason Tatum at the Olympics. Oh, my God. How could you do that, Steve? You couldn't play Jason? You couldn't give him a start? No. Trying to win a damn gold medal. I don't care that you won the NBA championship. You think Steve Kerr cares about that? Guy who's won 50 NBA championships. All right? But when you're with the likes of Stephen Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, yeah, you put your egos to the side. We were going back to the last segment where we were talking about there's like a rank, a trickle-down effect in any business or job or whatever, military, the rank goes down and down and down. Yep, sorry. You're like a corporal in the eyes of, the generals and colonels and lieutenant colonels and majors of the Stephs, LeBrons, and KDs, Jason. Sorry. Why do you care anyways? You just want to win a damn gold medal? Doesn't matter. No one's going to care that you didn't play in a couple games. No one cares about that. Well, you did. Again, go back to the me in this society. Me. God, he wasn't even the best player on his own team when they won a championship last year. Jaylen Brown should have taken him more personally than even invite him on the team. And no Jaylen Brown yesterday, obviously, but Warriors get the job done nonetheless. 650 Comcast Biz text line. We're talking about that win. What did it mean last night? Was it a statement win? 650 thinks they put the league on notice last night. I'm agreeing with you, 650. But they should have been paying attention earlier on. I get it, though. I get it. The Jazz, the Blazers, the Pelicans, they're not sexy wins. The Wizards, the Celtics are a brand. They are the brand right now in basketball. And you went to their home, got punched in the mouth, and then punched them back and knocked them out. That feels pretty freaking good, especially for Steph Curry. And it's got to feel good for Steve Kerr. He's not going to go out in there and say it and talk his talk, but it had to have felt good getting booed. And yeah, Tatum did his thing. He was good. Scored well, but hey, took the L, the big fat L. By the way, he had 4 turnovers too. Led the game in turnovers with 4 of them. Oof. Hate to see that. Buddy Hield. Was this a statement win?
Well, what do you think? It's just a statement. If we don't win this game, everybody's like, oh, they didn't play nobody. So you got to come make a statement, right? And on the road, so, that's how the basketball world talks. They say we haven't played nobody yet, so we battle tested and got to see if it's real.
Got to see if it's real. Feels real to me. They feel real to me. I don't think it's synthetic. Like a bag of sand when you grab it. Shout out to 4-year-old virgin. 408 on the Comcast Biz text line. Good morning. These Dubs have a tsunami of players we can count on. Strength in numbers is back. That is from Oreo Cookie. Can go for an Oreo cookie right now. Although it was a little bad yesterday. Someone brought in a bunch of leftover Halloween candy. And I was that guy that walked in there and just took all the Reese's peanut butter cups out of it. There was 7 or 8 of them. And I just ate all of them throughout the pregame show yesterday. There's some Kit Kats, which are all right. More of a Snickers Reese's guy. That's me. That's what I stick to. Not a Milky Way. I need the peanuts in there. Buddy Hield, more from him. Asked if a game like this shows off their defense.
Yeah, I still give up some buckets though. I still give up some cheap. I gotta be better at. And that's on me. I gotta keep sticking to the game plan. Stack is on me. Everybody's on me. Draymond's on me, and I'm just learning from them and getting better and learning championship habits. That's what they always preach, championship habits. So I'm just staying locked in and getting stops when I need to get stops. And I think we got stops and made buckets at the right time.
I love that mindset from Buddy Hield. Not being complacent in their win. That's great. I scored, but I gave up some cheap bleep on the other end. I need to be better. That's accountability, and that is a reflection of coaching and the leadership in that locker room from top to bottom. And Buddy Hield, dare I say, becoming a leader off the bench. Like, I love his attitude, and he's becoming one of my favorite players to listen to after a game. I mean, Raymond Ritter keeps putting him up there because he sounds good. I want to hear more from Buddy Hield. He's entertaining on the court and off of it. This team's fun right now. What can I say? The Warriors are fun to watch. And they haven't been fun to watch in a couple of years, which has been weird. Like, the Warriors were always the fun team. You wanted to watch them because they had just exuded joy and enthusiasm. And again, back to that word, fun. In the last 2 seasons, it's been a dark cloud of just sadness, anxiety. Oh, yeah, well, we'll see. Chris Paul and Klay Thompson's lead. I don't know. It's the vibes just have not been great. It's not been great. But right now, with Buddy Hield, with Steph, Kuminga off the bench, buying into his role, Draymond Green showing leadership, Andrew Wiggins. I know it wasn't his greatest. Like, if you just look at the box score, you'd be like, Wiggins was like, 6 of 14, 16 points. It was like a typical Wiggins games. No, defensively, he was great. Defensively, I thought he played very well. And you're seeing this from the 415. Well, I'm seeing it. I'm going to tell you. Give flowers to Jerry Stackhouse for the team's defense. Assistant coach Jerry Stackhouse, absolutely. On the Comcast Business text line, 415. Ron Adams as well, who's been a staple for this organization the last decade. Let's go out to my guy, though. When this guy calls in, he just goes right to the top of the line. It's Chris in San Jose. Chris has got to be feeling great about that win last night. What's going on, Chrissy?
Hey, morning, Spadoni. I mean, I feel immaculate today. They didn't have Jaylen Brown. It didn't quite feel like a playoff game at first in terms of the intensity. I thought we were crisp, but I thought that both teams, it wasn't Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So hopefully if we meet them in the finals, the intensity is going to be ratcheted up a bit. We're going to have to deal with somebody else named Jaylen Brown, who, watching their team last night, I wasn't that impressed with Tatum. He's kind of, floats around, and then they were working the ball around. They get him the ball. I just think they really missed Jaylen Brown last night, but huge. Love the ball moving. I love Draymond still pulling threes, even though he airballed 3 out of 4 of them and didn't make a single one. Love that he's still taking the shot, spreading the floor. I just woke up about 35 minutes ago, Spadone. I'm trying to come
me
with
too.
the
Don't worry, Chris. Me too.
Today.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know what, Buddy? I hate to. It's unfortunate with what Buddy's doing in the position he plays that we're going to have to compare. It's going to be spoken about. Klay. We wouldn't have been doing this with Klay, and unfortunately, what I see from Buddy Hield is exactly the role that we wanted Klay to play. He take the shots when you have them, but don't force them. Take the open shots, play hard D, lock in. And we're getting more production from Buddy off the bench than we did from Klay as a starter. So I love how the team's doing. I mean, Buddy, I might just buy his jersey next week, and we'll see how the rest of this road trip goes. But I'm loving it, Spadoni. Let's have a wonderful Thursday, and let's keep this thing going tomorrow against Cleveland, baby.
Let's go. That's Chris in San Jose. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Chris. Sorry, we're up against it. Chris is so good. This is slowly becoming my favorite caller. Oreo Cookie. Hey, you got competition, buddy. 888-957-9570. Call or text the Comcast Business text line with that number. Chris is fired up. He's going to buy Buddy Hield's jersey next week? Is that where we're at already? Is Buddy Hield becoming a fan favorite in less than 10 games in his Golden State Warriors career? That's pretty incredible. But this Golden State Warriors team right now is pretty incredible, so maybe it makes sense. 118-112 the final over Boston. We're going to wrap up the show on the other side. 2-7 down, 1 more to go. The pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
It's Bonte Hill. Don't just stretch. Get stretched. At StretchLab, they're changing the game to help you feel better in your body. With one-on-one assisted stretching, you'll move, play, and recover better. If you have pain, tightness, or want more from your workouts, the experts at StretchLab will create a customized program.
to play Drake still? Is that allowed? I don't know. How's that beef going with DeMar DeRozan? Is that still a thing? Saw Vivek Ranadive, the owner of the Sacramento Kings, wearing the "They Not Like Us" shirt. That's supporting his guy. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But we're not talking Kings this morning. Hell no. Talking Warriors. 118-112 win over the defending champion Boston Celtics. Eat your heart out, Jason Tatum and Celtics Nation. City of Boston right now, their sports scene, you really hate to see it. I mean, talk about a fan base that's really been struggling the last 2 decades when it comes to championship wins. I mean, Drake May, what is it? They 2-7, 2-6, the Patriots? Oh, no. Boston Red Sox, they just saw their beloved rivals, although they're probably a little happy that the Dodgers won that, but they're a step behind the Yankees. Who else is out there? The Bruins? Yeah. They always seem to come up short. By the way, the Sharkies. Hot. Sharkies. 888-957-9570. Was that a statement win last night for the Golden State Warriors or what? I think it was. Jimmy, Bayview. What's going on, man? You're on the pregame show.
Hey, Joe. Thanks for taking my call. Sorry about the background noise walking to work. But Steve Kerr is showing Missoula how it's done, how a big dog coach really works. Punked him again. And I really think this team embodies what Steve Kerr wants. Scrappy team, nobody complaining. And, this team reminds me a little of Rick Pitino back in the day when he coached Kentucky. It was like 80 minutes of pain. And these guys pressure. These guys get in your face. And the scrappiness is just great to see. I'm loving it. Thanks.
Thank you, Jimmy. That's Jimmy out in Bayview. He's loving it. He's feeling good. Like, that's a win last night. Not that the team needed more confidence, but for that locker room, for that team, yeah, we can go into the defending champs home, albeit without Jaylen Brown. And I'm going to say that their best player they were missing last night. I've always said I think Jaylen Brown's better than Jason Tatum. I don't think that's the prevailing sentiment around. I think most people would say it's Jason Tatum, but when push came to shove last year in the playoffs, who was the best player? Put the team on their back more often than not. It was Jaylen Brown, and he was missing last night. And he plays the Warriors a lot better than Jason Tatum has in the past. But I don't care that he was gone. I don't care. Because the depth was on display for both teams last night. And the Warriors came out on top. That was a total team win. Again, how many times have we said that this season? A total team victory for the Golden State Warriors. It feels like every single time we're talking about that. It's not like a heroic Steph performance or heroic Buddy Hield or a heroic Andrew Wiggins type. No, it's been depth. It's been Kuminga. It's been Moody. It's been Pajemski when he's in there. It's been Kyle Anderson making some shots. It's been everyone. And that's such an easy way to get behind a team with the strength and numbers aspect. Because you've already had that in the past, that's something you can lean on. The thing with the Warriors, we've seen every iteration of them already, which is kind of interesting. You don't really see that, right? When it comes to championship teams, you see one version, and then that version's kind of gone. Yeah, we've seen it with dynasties like the Patriots, different sports. We've seen it occasionally in basketball, like the Lakers with Kobe. They had different iterations, but it was through a major trade, right? Shaq's gone, bring in Pau Gasol, and then you go back to 3 straight championships and you win 2 of them. Like, it doesn't happen very often is what I'm trying to say. And we've seen the strength in numbers Warriors. We've seen the Kevin Durant Warriors. And we saw the revamped Stephen Curry, Andrew Wiggins Warriors a couple years ago. And now what do we got here? Is it back to strength in numbers? Is it a little bit of both? Is it a hybrid? I don't know what it is. It's fun. It's a little bit of everything. You got the young guns and Pajemski and Kuminga and Moody contributing. Now, are they contributing at the level that needs to be contributed to win a championship? I'm not so sure, but I know they've bought into their roles. I know they're playing high-level basketball at times. And I know Stephen Curry still strikes fear into the hearts of every single fan base that he plays against. And last night was a reason why. He got to the line multiple times, 7 for 7 from the free throw line. That was impressive to see. He was drawing fouls. He was distributing. That was, dare I say, a Magic Johnson type of performance from Stephen Curry, albeit without the rebounds, although he got 7 of them. He was active everywhere. He was a pest. That's what you need against the big boys. And again, getting down early in that game, Derek White on fire. That fan base is ready to pounce on Steve Kerr. And not just Steve Kerr, but the Warriors. People still love to hate Stephen Curry. And I do think that was a part of it. Celtics fans being so upset about how things went over the summer with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and the fact that Stephen Curry was the guy to lead Team USA home. It was Steph, it was LeBron, it was KD. All those figures that Boston hates. Like, I can't think of more like LeBron James for sure. Right? They hate LeBron. And now they hate Steph because he beat them in a championship. They hate Steve Kerr because he was the head coach. And they hate Kevin Durant. So all those players wrapped in to that whole, I'm not going to say debacle because they won the gold, but for them it was a debacle in Boston. That's how they felt. And it was just, chef's kiss that they ended up taking that L last night. And it made me feel great. When the city of Boston loses in sports, it just makes me feel good. It does. And last night, that was a feel-good win. 888-957-9570. Gary Payton, after the game. I haven't talked about the young glove a lot, GP2, but he was active. He had 18 minutes off the bench. He had 6 points, a couple of blocks in there. Gary Payton on NBC Sports Bay Area talking about the second unit doing what they do last night.
We know that second unit, it can be anybody's night. And Toon does what he does for the last 10 years. Buddy Hill, he gets it off. It's probably most likely it's going to be good. Like Buddy said, he was made for this world. So I think he was made for this moment right here. And Kyle K.A. coming out with 3 big threes and some stops late in the game. That second unit comes in and, we do what we do.
And Gary Payton being healthy has been a game changer early on here. Now, knock on wood, he stays that way because last year he just wasn't able to stay healthy. He was in and he was out. And that was another element to the game, to the season, I should say, last year. Just they weren't able to stay healthy. They couldn't get a consistent rotation in there. And we're seeing this consistency early on, although no D'Anthony Melton, no Brandon Podziemski yesterday, and Melton been being out for as long as he's been out. They haven't even had to use him. And you thought he had to be a major piece for this team to compete for a playoff spot. Maybe they don't need him. Maybe he can get right, as we like to say. We'll see. But let's go to Jonathan in Pittsburgh here in a second. But before we get to Jonathan, let me play this one about Payton. When asked about his health and saying he feels amazing.
Yeah, amazing. All summer, that was the big key. Steve got on me a little bit, and Mike told me to be available. So I made sure I was available for him out the gates, feeling good, staying on top of my body and what I got to do. So we got to keep it going.
Got to keep it going. All right, let's go out to Jonathan. We got a couple minutes here. I want to squeeze Jonathan in Pittsburgh in. Jonathan, what's going on, man? You're on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a few things. I'm a Warriors fan. I've been a diehard Warriors fan for the longest time, but I did want to just say respect the players, man. Respect the players because you got the guy out on the radio earlier and was like, I'm not that impressed by Jason Tatum. Yes, he's the enemy. We know it over here. But at the same time, you got to respect him. He put up 32. I mean, how can you not respect a guy that outscored everybody? And he gets on, he's like, hey, yeah, I wasn't too impressed by that guy. It's like, don't be a bozo. Respect the game.
Are you talking about me, Jonathan, or was there someone else saying that he wasn't? Did I say that?
I'm talking about you.
Jonathan. Well, Jonathan, I wasn't that impressed with his game last night. I know that he dropped 32. He had 4 turnovers and he was playing hero ball a lot of the time. I wasn't that impressed by him. He's an impressive player, but I've not been impressed by his attitude over the summer. I've not been impressed by him on the documentary with Netflix. I just don't think he's the best player on that team. I think Jaylen Brown, if I'm a Warriors fan, strikes more fear into me than a Jason Tatum. Not to say that Jason Tatum isn't a bad player, Jonathan. Jason Tatum is a great player. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. But his game overall, it leaves me wanting more at times. And I just feel like he is a flawed player. In a game like yesterday, and I know you're missing your second best player, I felt like he could have been more of a ball distributor like Stephen Curry was. He was actively trying to get his teammates involved, and I thought that was the difference yesterday, Jonathan. Steph getting his players involved more than a Jason Tatum did, who had 2 assists yesterday.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he's not an impressive player. That's, you definitely clarified what you meant right now, but, out of respect, that's the things you got to do. When you say something like, this person is not impressive, you gotta tell us why, man. I
just told you, Jonathan, he wasn't impressive to me last night. I don't care that he dropped 32. There you go. We're up against it. Jonathan in Pittsburgh. You didn't like that I took a shot at Jason Tatum. But you know what? Hey, he had 4 turnovers yesterday. He had 32 points, 5 of 10 from beyond the arc, 10 of 20. Great. Took a big fat L. Again, the box score will tell you great. That's awesome. I don't think it's that much of a shot that I said I was not that impressed with him last night. That's okay. He's had more impressive performances. That's a credit to Jason Tatum and the level of respect I have for his game that last night, even dropping 32, wasn't all that impressed. All right. You know what I am impressed with? And Jonathan, I wasn't meaning to poke fun at you there. Jonathan Pittsburgh, hell of a call. We're up against it. I am impressed with Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky, and they're coming up next. Morning Roast, 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.